just jumping fences, I had to duck the nurse. Niggas come through shooting, ain't doing no aiming. When these hoes see me, they forget that they got home training. Life getting wild, but I know I'm born for this shit. All these racks on me now, I can start a storm in this bitch. Yeah, get you 10 hundreds, gon' put the hood on. Yeah, I ain't even been in the gym, but my cushion so strong. Yeah, every time I shine, I do it with my look.
Welcome to High Style Sundays. We here with Mike down here at Rip Canvas Tattoo Shop. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? How you doing today, man?
Not much. I appreciate you having us down here. You know you guys stay busy. So for everybody that doesn't know what you're about and what you do, let them know.
Well, again, I'm an artist down here at Rip Canvas. This is a tattoo shop. Not only is it a tattoo shop, it's also an artist social club. We have a plethora of different types of artists. Of course, tattoo artists. We have painters. We have digital artists. We have artists that also do cinematography. So if you want to get down with the team, come down, holler at us one day.
Okay. Now, are you from Baltimore?
I am from Baltimore, born and raised.
Okay. What was it like? How has it been like growing up in Baltimore for you? Take us back a little bit.
I would say it's always been a mental struggle.
Okay.
Simply because statistics is always the first thing that's thrown in your face as a young kid growing up in Baltimore.
Right.
You know, one statistic's always the first I remember vividly is 21. Most kids don't make it to 18, let alone 21.
Right.
So once I reached that milestone, that was really a milestone that I looked at least mentally in my mind as something that once I achieved, I felt like it was something big in my life. Like, I'm 21, I broke that generational curse, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and also it was cool for the most part. Growing up in Baltimore, I mean, of course you gotta look out for the. You always keep your head on the swivel, but for the most part, you learn quickly around, about your surroundings, and how to step, how to move.
Okay.
So I was always like a person that could adapt. We grew up around the Park Heights area.
Okay.
And around the time I was like in middle school, we ended up moving out toward like the Woodlawn area. So, for the most part, I've been over west the majority of my life.
Okay.
For the past like 10, almost 12 years, I've been down here in Pigtown. Yeah, pretty much in Baltimore, South Baltimore now, West Baltimore, Sutton.
Right. It's not too far from West Baltimore, though.
Oh no. Yeah, most of my people still in and around that area.
Okay. Now, what really got you started with like the art? Because I know you also you paint, you draw, you do a lot. So, what really got you started?
Really, what got me initially started, other than my parents having a little bit of an artistic background, they could draw. My pops was in like a little band. He could play different instruments and shit. My mom could draw a little bit when she practiced. But honestly, when my dad used to take me to the comic book shop,
Okay.
I used to go to the comic book shop like every week, and I didn't. Not to say I didn't like to read, but I was more of a visual person, a visual learner.
Right.
So comic books was like right up my alley, and I started to recreate the images that I saw in the comic books.
Yeah.
I would take the comic books home. I would I didn't trace a lot. I didn't like to trace. So even from like being young, I would try to draw the characters myself instead of like putting a piece of paper over it and try to trace it, or you know. So I would try to put the characters in different scenarios or myself into the actual comic book.
Okay. Now, what would you say you're more passionate about? Because I mean, it's all art, but are you more passionate with the tattoos? Or are you more passionate with the paintings? I know you also say you do self-portraits for people. So,
Right now, honestly, I would say I'm more passionate about tattooing
right.
because I feel like I haven't mastered this medium.
Okay.
Um, Still doing a lot of learning um, and applying those skills that I've learned because I've been painting since I can remember, and like not only painting but painting on a level where as though people were buying my work.
Right.
Got galleries asking me to put my work in there. I did a few solo shows, even like early, like coming out of high school. I did not a solo show, but I was in a show down at the VMA,
Okay.
Visionary Museum of Art.
Yeah.
So painting is kind of something that comes second nature. Drawing, painting. Not to say that I've lost the passion for it, but it's like I can do that with my eyes closed.
Okay.
But tattooing is something right now I'm really passionate about. I really want to get to the point where my paintings reflect the way that I tattoo. Or should I say the way I tattoo reflects the way that I paint.
Okay. Now, when you say tattoos, a lot of people think, when you say famous people, a lot of people now, they think Black Ink Crew, stuff, people along that nature.
Yeah.
But what to you is the most I guess I want to say what was the most inspirational, maybe tattoo artist or tattoo shop that you know you
Or they're just spots and stuff.
Okay. Other than like the greats,
right?
Nico Corrado. I'm a tangible person. I gain more from a person that I can see, I can touch, I can talk to.
Yeah.
So honestly, I learned a lot, tremendous amount of knowledge from being here, being around Dom, the owner, and specifically Red Rabbit.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from her and Frankie, and shout out to my boy Chris Milos. He's in California right now, but I learned a tremendous amount of knowledge and skills from those guys. Then we had guest artists like Tony Scientific came in. He's an artist from Germany.
Okay.
He does kind of on the same path. Him and Gambino Soriano. Gambino, he's from Mexico, currently in Chicago. But those two guys specifically had more of like a realism type of background, illustration, and I learned a lot from those guys. So, we all, when we think about the Greeks, we think about those Nico Corrado and those type of guys. But again, I gained a lot of my knowledge from, again, like I said, the people that are tangible.
Okay. And tattoos really is a part of like almost every culture now. What do you feel like the biggest impact it has on, I like to say, the African American culture?
I would say now that it's allowing people to bridge gaps. Because before tattoos were so like um, almost like restricted. It was like almost like a forbidden fruit, if you will.
Right.
You know, if you got a tattoo, you know, you had to know somebody that was giving, and if you knew somebody who was only giving like specific type of tattoos, or everybody was getting the mom and the dad tattoo or the name tattoo.
Yeah.
But now, tattoos are more taboo,
Okay.
more socially accepted. So you got, you know, like anime tattoos. Anime tattoos are, you know, the big shit nowadays. It wasn't like that when I first started. You know, you might get somebody that like Dragon Ball Z, but now that it's so taboo, like I said, it's bridging those gaps.
Okay.
We got people coming in getting all types of tattoos, all types of walks of life. You know, so yeah, again, just bridging that gap and allowing people to see that we have a lot more in common
Right.
than we have differences.
Okay. And now, when it comes as far as like where you get your tattoos at, now there's a plenty of different. You can tattoo people anywhere from, you know, I've been to tattoo shops in people's rooms. You know, there's tattoos. There's a tattoo artist in the jails. You know, but for you, what's the difference from being in a shop as the tattoo artist from, you know, being in your room or in your home, giving that service?
I would say, for me personally, I started off uh, doing it out my house
Okay.
or having people, you know, rent a hotel room, and we do the tattoo at a you know, a hotel.
Okay.
And honestly, that probably was some of the most stressful times of my life. The uncertainty, you know, the uh, inconsistency,
Mhm.
and then, you know, people shady.
Right.
I ain't really. That was the reason I had stopped a while ago.
Okay.
Not to say anything bad happened, but just I didn't. I wanted that peace of mind. I wanted somebody coming in my house. You know, I would have rather it been like a private studio. But for the most part, I think being in a shop, you're able to bounce those ideas off of the other artists. Um,
Okay.
like even with this tattoo,
Right.
I went to Red Rabbit and asked her some pointers about the design and placement. And prior to us kind of changing it to this design, we were going to do a cover up. I talked to one of our other artists, Unique. She's awesome at doing cover ups.
Okay.
You know, just getting some of that insight, some of that information that I may have missed on the front end. So just having that camaraderie, especially when you're around artists that don't have that big ego.
Mhm.
And I've been fortunate enough to, you know, come across a shop here with Canvas where like none of our artists have. We all, you know, want to be the best. We all want to, you know, how shit be, but we don't carry it like that. You know what I mean? It's no ill will. We help each other. It's no like, oh, you owe me type shit. It's like it's real life, a family.
Okay. Okay.
Shit, the owners, you know, my neighbor. You know what I mean? Our kids play together and shit like that. So
Right.
that's my biggest takeaway is just the camaraderie.
Okay. Okay. And now for people that don't have, because I've seen a lot of tattoo artists also fail, where they, you know, they stop doing tattoos because they either just have no growth, you know. So what would you suggest for a tattoo artist that maybe works in his own space but seems to feel stuck?
I would say don't be afraid to reach out to if you have a shop that's close by, you know, reach out to those guys. I mean, at first they may be a little apprehensive to, you know, give some information or, you know, but if you keep showing up, at least, you know, try to get the information there or reach out to artists on Instagram. I've done it myself. I reached out to this guy named Oliver Ray, and he's a beast. I think he's in like the UK or some shit like that. Just asking him about some of his decisions as far as his needles,
Yep.
what machines he uses. I would say never be afraid to ask for help. Yeah, that would be my biggest thing.
Okay.
We all need help.
All right. Okay. And now, where do you? Because I know you don't want to. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you want to only stay at this, stay tattooing and stuff. I know you want. There's a bigger picture to it.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's your bigger picture of this? Between the tattoos, your portraits,
My, I guess 10-year plan would be I want to own my own atelier.
Okay.
So atelier is pretty much like almost like an art school type thing, but it's like a smaller type thing. So I want to be able to have a facility where I can not only teach like advanced art classes, but also have like a gallery space inside that.
That's dope. That's
that
dope.
area, be able to like hold events, and do like community outreach.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to own my own atelier.
Okay.
Cause I can tattoo,
Right.
Yeah, I would rather. I mean, there's nothing wrong with owning my own shop, but I would want to do like a gallery or atelier, so where I can display my own work and my fellow artists.
That's next level. Yeah. Okay. And now, coming from Baltimore, I know you've seen a lot of different, art. You tattooed a lot of different art. What do you feel like is your favorite? Maybe your favorite tattoo that you've done so far.
Favorite tattoo that I've done probably would have to be the Iron Man. This Iron Man piece I did like a month and a half back.
Okay.
I ain't got a key on it. You ain't got to let me. But it was a black and gray, more like a realism piece. And that's kind of what I'm striving to do right now is more realism pieces, a lot of detail. That's what I like to do. My favorite is like that Iron Man piece I did. It's a real fun piece.
Okay.
If anybody wants some realism,
This is the place to be.
come holler at me.
Now, what would you say was the longest session you ever had?
Oh, longest session.
Right.
Longest session probably was a chest piece that I did. I wanted to break it down to 2, maybe 3 sessions. So I had the guy like come back after we were done. But he was kind of like strapped for time.
Okay.
So instead of doing like a 2-day session, we ended up going from like 12 to 12 to 1, something crazy like that.
Oh wow.
And then 12 hours, 13 hours. But
Okay.
I would rather stay away from long sessions like that.
Yeah.
You get fatigued, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would rather do, an 8-hour session and like really kill it. Or even like a 6-hour session and like really, within that time, like really put my best.
Okay.
You live and learn.
Right. Do you feel like there's still a lot of growth you have left with at least the tattoo side?
Oh, for sure. I'm a baby in the tattoo world. At least in my mind. You know what I mean?
That's a good thing too. At least you're, optimistic. Means you,
Right.
you know,
I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to apply as far as the skills. Because I might learn something and not be able to apply it to the right tattoo come along.
right.
You know what I mean? So, um, it's a lot. It's really about staying the course.
Okay.
Because tattooing can get slow.
Yeah.
So I would most definitely keep a side gig if you can, or some sort of
Yep.
what do you call it? Funds that you don't necessarily have to do too much to get.
Exactly. And I want to get into, as an artist, there are the downtimes, So what's your piece? What do you do that when you're not tattooing, you have no portraits, no nothing to paint? What do you do to, keep yourself going?
Uh, I'm a family guy. I like being around my family. I got 2 little girls,
Okay.
so I'll kind of utilize them as my muse, if you will.
Okay.
Because they're really creative and they just like to be around daddy. So sometimes that allows me to pull myself away from this for a little while.
Right.
It's difficult for me. It's like I need to be always constantly like working or moving around.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, for the most part, my wife and my kids,
Okay.
especially because I work so much.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Now, I want to know, do you have any special projects, anything we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, man, I do. I have. We've been linking up with the Black Genius Art Show
Okay.
lately, doing this thing called Artmageddon.
Okay.
I want you guys to come check it out the next time. I'm not sure the date, but I think it's sometime in January, doing
Okay.
another competition.
Okay.
Again, the Black Genius Art Show is a gallery and merchandise set up down in Utah. We've been trying to do some big things with Brian. He's the owner down there.
Okay.
I also have some things in the workings at a gallery out in Savannah Park, Maryland.
Okay. Nice.
Gallery 564. I'm
Okay.
planning a few events come the early spring, so look out for that on my IG. Also, we're going to start the Sip and Paints back down
Nice.
there. If anybody was interested, we're doing the Sip and Paints at a place called Friends Grill.
Okay.
And that's off of Bar Street in Pigtown.
That's dope. That'll definitely be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that. All right. Once again, I appreciate you, Mike. We're down here at Rep Canvas. A little quick insight what he does. You need tattoos. It's the only place to come in Baltimore, right here, Pigtown, Washington Boulevard, by the stadiums. Just come in, ask for my man Mike. Man, I appreciate you having me in here. Giving us a little insight on the best in the city. Appreciate you.